Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Neki broadcast. Today we are taking risks again. However, we are taking risks versus Mato, which is, let's say, higher tier player rather than Earthcake, but not to take anything away from Earthcake. Earthcake is a very strong player himself. However, what is interesting about Mato is that he requested that we play using a very fast timer. Now the timer setting, I'm not sure whether we would be able to see it. I think we can see it here in the top corner, is 3 minutes. So this is going to be similar to chess, a blitz game. Therefore, it is really important to stay focused. It is really important to assess the overall situation and reach strategic decisions rather than refined tactical decisions. One could argue that it would be a bit difficult to take risks in this scenario. However, I did it anyway. I took risks. One could argue that it's better to take risks simply because the opponent has the timer to worry about. So you are basically putting him in a difficult situation, and it's difficult for him to make a choice and evaluate whether the risk for him is higher than the reward or not. Anyway, it was a very interesting game simply because I took risks, and we shall see how. So the map is Sablestone Delta, and the my faction is Loyalist. So this was an interesting recruit. I mean, I obviously didn't plan for this ahead. Most of the time I recruit, let's say, based on how I feel about the particular game on the map. It's very rarely that I have a particular build for a map. However, this build is interesting. Why? Simply because if you get a quick fencer, you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then go towards this corridor. So simply because these corridors exist, this means that fences are particularly well suited for this map. So I did recruit one quick intelligent fencer, another quick intelligent fencer. So this should enable me to go directly here and then try to squeeze in through this corridor. This one would enable me again to do this move of getting villages and then go through this corridor. Cav, always useful. Get this village, then come back quickly in the center of the map. So I'm not sure whether I recruited a fencer and it was not quick, and then I tried for another fencer. So probably I recruited this one, so it was not quick. Try with this one, it was quick. So I said, I'm going to give it a try, another quick fencer. If this fencer was not quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, then I would have had myself, I would have been in a difficult position, right? So simply because, look at this fencer. It cannot reach anything except this village. And then this particular fencer wouldn't have been able to reach anything himself. It would have been a bit awkward. However, I did get my quick fences, and this in itself was a risk which paid off in terms of village grabbing. Let's see my opponent. So obviously I have no idea he is Drake, but I believe that Drake is particularly well suited for this map, simply because you can keep your units into a large cluster, and then you can move left, right, diagonally, however you please on this map. You can move unhindered, and this cluster of death is incredibly powerful. So Drake is, although it might not seem so, Drake is particularly powerful here. So I would be really interested to see how he played, how he recruited. So there it is. Oh, that is a bold recruit. So he is also taking risks, I guess. So this particular, so here to grab villages, right? Grab village here. Probably grab this or grab this even. So he's going to grab 3 villages, definitely. So the fact that he recruited the glider here is telling me that he's going to probably grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If it's quick, can't see it. If it's not quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's going to do something with it anyway. So probably if it's not quick here, then this one, and then this one, and then to the center of the map. And then this glider will probably go, this one was probably not quick, so this glider will go here, this one will go here, this one will go here, and this one will scout, or even scout to take this village, and he will do something else with the leader. So we should see, but this tells me aggression. So he was about to be aggressive. He was planning to be aggressive. Anyway, now what I did was exactly what I told you I would do. And of course, you can't have a game with loyalists unless you have spearmen. They are the bread and butter of the loyalist army. So from here on, at least for a while, I would have had to recruit spearmen. Now, let us see. And of course, I'm pushing my leader forward. I just want to see something, anything with my leader. Now, let's see this particular glider. Yes, this particular glider was not quick. And you see, as I said, this skirmisher was not quick. Therefore, he had to go for the glider. It's a bit frustrating, I know. And this Drake fighter also not quick. And about the clasher, the trait doesn't really matter. So he is scouting with intelligent quick fighter. He sees that I'm loyalist, and he probably says, 2 gliders, not very. I mean, it could be worse, I guess, but it's definitely not very strong against loyalists. There you go, the move with the villages, and standard village grabbing, I guess. Now it remains to be seen what he will do with this fighter. He chooses to scout, and you see he has -4. Oh, this is incredibly interesting. So he skipped taking this village. He probably thought, well, I already have enough villages because I had to go the extra unit because the skirmisher was not quick. So I already collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 villages. You know, the fact that I collect one more is relevant. I would like to put pressure with my leader, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably even grab this keep. You know, force me to overcompensate a bit regarding the threat of taking this keep. And given the time, it is quite, you know, easy to crumble under pressure. So I felt a little bit pressured at this point. I did not realize he had not grabbed this village. So I tried to defend. I tried to basically prevent him from grabbing this keep, which in hindsight, perhaps, you know, given his unit composition, you know, I expected mass Saurians behind this, but as you can see, he only has 1 Saurian, so definitely he's unable to attack during the night. I mean, so you see, I'm trying to form some sort of front line here, trying to protect this keep. Never mind, I went all the way up here. However, I do have this fencer to block at least this castle, so that is beneficial, I guess. So you see, even if his leader comes here, he won't be able to recruit. He will be walking into a trap. So this takes care of the potential aggression from Drake. And I don't have enough money to recruit. So I'm not recruiting anything at this turn. I believe I had 13 gold. And now he immediately falls back. There was no way he would have taken more risks. But, you know, he's waltzing in, looking around as if he owns the map, as if he owns the place. Why? Because night is coming, and he knows there is nothing that Loyalists can do at night. Drakes can do plenty. I mean, it is actually better to play Chaotic versus Loyalist as Drake. Trust me, this is how you want to play it. You don't want to be exchanging hits with Spearmen. I mean, clashes are excellent versus Spearmen. I mean, they can hold their own, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't call them excellent. I would say they can hold their own versus Spearmen, but there is a 5 gold difference in recruiting. You cannot keep up with Spearmen. So you do want to go the Chaotic route. Now, I'm seeing this fencer, and obviously I have to address this glider in one way or the other. So I am saying I'm more keen on pushing my fencer through this corridor rather than using my fencer, yet another fencer defensively. So what I will do, I'll probably come with the cav. Okay, so you see, I'm going with the cav, and glider can't really do anything. Plus, now the fencer is on the corridor. Now, he will be the one that needs to be defensive. I mean, fencers through corridors, they are absolutely amazing. Now I have gold for 2 spearmen, so I choose to recruit a fish simply because fishes are resilient. I mean, they are resistant to cold. So if he starts recruiting augurs, at least I have a defense mechanism versus those augurs. And on this map, fishes are important simply because I can go next to this village and attack it from 60%. Plus, Pierce is excellent versus Drake. So fish is just an amazing choice versus Drake, in my opinion. They deal a bit less damage than spearmen. However, they are quite, they can hold their own. It's not a problem. Now, here I'm doing something I would say, in hindsight, I would call it odd. I'm pushing my spearmen on 60%, right? I just want to gain as much vision as possible. I want to prevent him from, recruiting something here, then pushing forward, grabbing some sort of terrain, right? I just want to close off this corridor. Plus, I'm thinking, look, there's no way you're going to attack me with a clasher, with a fighter, right? I mean, you don't have the saurians necessary for attack. Therefore, you are definitely not going to attack my spearmen. It will be suicidal, right? This is what I'm saying here. Plus, remember, it's a 3-minute timeout. Therefore, I can, I wouldn't say this is an optimal move, but it's a move that closes the corridor, puts my spearmen on 60%, and basically slows down any kind of attack that will take place on this side, and plus gives me some vision, right? Gives me some vision, and then I can retreat rather than having to scout and then going back. As you can see, I'm quite low on scouts. I only have 1. Although arguably fencers can be used as scouts as well. Then I am putting the spearman, I'm putting the fencer on the village, and I'm not really sure about my placement here. Probably I was thinking, again, something of the sort. If you are going to attack, right? If you are going to attack, you're going to have to go around this spearman. So if you do want to get to this tasty village, you have to go through this spearman. You can attack the spearman on 40%. You can kill it, not a problem. Take risks, but you won't get the village. You won't get a village out of it, right? Plus, he didn't have the saurians, so I did want to keep my spearman into an aggressive position. At least this is what I was thinking under time pressure. Keep it on an aggressive position, in an aggressive position. Now, it's really interesting what he did. He's the one that took some risks at this point. So you see, he's closing the corridor with the glider, which, it's not much of a close, simply because glider cannot reach this particular cave. And now he took a risk. He attacked my spearman. Now, you could say that this was a bait from my side, right? You could say, but look what he did. So he's pushing his units forward for an attack. However, he does not have the damage. He has too many lawful units, I feel. So, and he's using his leader. Why? 2 out of 3. That is a bit too much versus 60%. He's using his leader because, again, it's a high reward, low risk situation for him. I mean, look, he got quite a lot of damage, I would say, on his leader. However, he will be healed by this augur, and his leader is going to stay back and recruit anyway. So this was a mistake from my part. I shouldn't have been so aggressive with my spearman. And now my spearman is close to dying. I'm not sure whether, okay, he did not. So he did not follow up. He's planning to keep using his leader until my spearman is dead. Okay. So now I saw an opportunity to take a risk of my own. I saw the opportunity to push my fencer forward. So again, as you see, I went around and I grabbed this particular strategic tile simply because, see, nobody is stopping me right now. This augur cannot reach me. I'm safe. Nobody can stop me to have free reign on these villages. Plus, all his units are pretty focused on pushing, although he does not have the damage to so from this perspective, it would have been a bit better if I placed my spearman here. In hindsight, right? Not here, so I could close there. So this particular spearman could not be zone of control with this clasher in this manner. right? It could have been better to put it here. He would have never attacked a spearman on 40%. It basically offered him no no strategic value. He would have gotten a lot of damage. He would have placed his lead on 30%. He would have been susceptible from run-bys from my fencer and the oncoming units. So that was a mistake from my part. But now I saw all these units focused in this cluster here. Also these units kind of pushing. So I said to myself, now it's a great time to do a run-by and try to draw a lot of attention from this side onto his, southmost village. It's a waste of time moving all these units onto the southmost village. Now, he can move his units, he can close me off, he will eventually kill this fencer. It's a risk, right? The fencer will die. It's almost like a sacrifice. But it is for a... So I'm taking a risk, especially since I'm losing a unit. So I'm losing a unit, I'm losing a second unit for a strategic advantage, right? It's a bit of an expensive price to pay for a strategic advantage, but I'm willing to pay it. I am of the opinion that if I survive the first night with not too many casualties, then I will be able to deal a lot of damage during the day. As you can see, I'm sticking with these low-cost units as I intend to swarm during the day. Well, let's see what happened. Of course, pushing my fencer forward, closing down this particular avenue, so he cannot do with his glider what I'm doing with my fencer. And, this unit is here. However, it's quick, so it will be able to push forward or go to the left as needed. And again, I'm closing down this keep. I really don't want his leader to move forward, right, into my territory and recruit behind my back augurs. I don't want that to happen. I'm willing to even sacrifice a spearman for that, and I'm willing to sacrifice a fencer so that he reduces the pressure on this side. And as you can see, I am very serious about him not doing the move on this flank. I'm even doubling my defense with a fencer, 70% fencer. And see, all my units are kind of busy in dealing with all this pressure except the fences. I've pushed my fences through the proper channels forward. And of course, more spearmen, why not? I am not even bothered to move my leader, knowing that I will be recruiting continuously in the hope that I will overwhelm the Drake. Well, he went back, recruited another augur, perfectly understandable, and I don't remember what he did here. Of course, more killing, and again, 2 out of 3 versus 60%. That is a bit painful. I mean, imagine he got only 1 out of 3. Then he would have had to commit another unit. So at least another unit would have stayed here. I would have gotten a kill in return. I could have zone of controlled using my fencer. However, he got 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. He took the risk. Look at the damage on his leader. However, he will slowly regenerate that. He took the risk and it went well for him. So remember, in my previous video on my channel, I did the same with my Griffin, right? I kept attacking a glider, and glider was 40% defense. He kept attacking a spearman. The spearman was 60% defense. So the risk he took was even larger, pinning his leader in this area, attacking a unit that deals a lot of retaliation damage. And imagine he did not kill the spearman. He would have had to stay here. He would have had to keep committing units to one lone spearman. However, he got the kill, and I believe now he is going to retreat absolutely everything. And now I also felt at that point a bit silly, simply because he killed the spearman relatively quickly, so the natural move for him was to retreat. Therefore, I'm giving him a prize. Oh, you're retreating. Whilst you're retreating, get a fencer as the prize. So I felt a bit foolish after I saw him finishing off the spearman so quickly. But that was my risk. That was my that could have may very well happened, and it happened. So I say saving grace here. I do alleviate the pressure on the right hand side. He has to retreat and deal with this fencer, and this basically opens up my units to advance and prepare for an absolutely massive attack. So I can already move all my units forward. There is not much pressure in terms of there's not much there's not much manpower to stop me. But I did lose a unit, mind you. So what I'm doing here, I'm pushing my units forward. Sure, he can, making sure this augur cannot reach my spearman, making sure I'm on 50%. If he does manage to take a crazy risk, at least I'm on 50%. Fencer on 70% with the possibility of getting the village. Again, this is following through with my plan, getting this village way in the back, hoping that I delay him for so long, with all these 3 units going back, he will definitely not be able to stop my advancement. So you see spearmen right in the middle of the map. I'm not too bothered about the merman, simply because it is resilient to cold, and also it is on 60% compared to the other guys. And if he just goes around my merman and attacks it, first of all, he can't really do that because he has to commit some units to my fencer. But if he does do that, my merman would be on 60%. It's like attacking a villaged unit. So I wasn't too bothered. So I knew that in order for my plan to work, I needed to get this village and then push really aggressively. So spearman forward, again, spearman on 50%. Cav, just getting the village, making sure the skirmisher cannot do any crazy run-bys, right? He could have gone here. No, he couldn't. He just didn't have enough movement. So it would have been risky for him to go on 40%. I would have attacked him. I would have followed through. I would have had leadership. There's no way he's going to go this route. It's too little too late at this point. So I am going to basically further discourage him. I'm going to say, look, you killed the spearman. There's nothing I can do at this point. There's no point in me, hanging around. I want to stop. I want to prevent you from coming here. This was my whole intention. This was my intention the whole time. So I'm going to further prevent you from coming here and recruiting. So if you do want to go, sure, come here, but your leader is low HP. You probably won't do it. Also, this seems like a defensive position. However, this is a quick spearman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in 2 movements, it can reach this village. So it's a passive-aggressive move. It's good enough. And again, another spearman, and I believe I could have pushed my leader forward. However, I did not want to, because again, there are more units coming from my side. I wanted to make sure I don't miss a beat with my recruits. I wasn't going to be distracted by anything. And mass spearmen versus mass Drake fighters, and gliders, guess who's going to win? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 useless units. So I lost a spearman, sure, but he has 4 useless units versus spearman. So, yeah. Anyway, this is, I think, the moment my risk is starting to pay off. So he does go for the fencer. He misses. Not my fault he missed. This can happen. He was also lucky when he killed my spearman, right? I took the risk. It's not my fault that he he wasn't hitting my fencer. This is probably a bit frustrating for him. So he's going to hit my fencer with the glider, I believe. So my fencer is going to heal up to 27 completely. So 3 units here, busy with my fencer, and I'm getting the advantage of a village. As you can see, he's getting a bit worried about my advancement on this particular side. More units are going to be pouring in from everywhere. So he needs to muster up a defense, and he is doing just that. I don't agree with this. This should have been, and I feel that this should have been a clash at this point, simply because day is coming and he does not have enough units to deal with my spearmen. Sure, this can be put on 60% here, for example, and it would be very difficult to kill him with spearmen. I agree, but he will not be dealing a lot of damage in return, and I do have one fencer and 1 cavalryman. I still have 2 blades on the field, and they can deal relatively easily with a skirmisher at day. But it's his choice. Basically, this was a greedy recruit. He was basically going to say, I feel confident that I will be able to defend with what I have. However, his leader did kill a spearman, did slow me down. However, he has low HP and he will not be able to take the risks he took here. He will not be able to take it during the day in defense. So there is another thing going for me. So that spearman's death was definitely not in vain. Now, he is blocking my fencer, which is to be expected. And there is the fighter on the village. This is basically his only line of defense. And as you can see, the fighter, merman fighter, can go behind him. That is, if I've ever seen one, and knowing my risk appetite after I have lost a unit, that is a dead fighter. But I don't remember what happened exactly because it's been a while. So you see, it is dawn. It's not the optimal time to attack. However, spearmen are quite efficient versus Drake fighters. They deal quite a lot of damage, so I went for it. So you see 9 damage, and it's 40% versus 40%. So it's not a 60% Drake fighter. So you see the amount of damage I dealt, already 18 damage, quite easily. So when I saw that, obviously, I continued. Again, I did get a lot of damage in retaliation, but he did retaliate with a lot of damage. However, important thing is that I killed this fighter. So I'm not even interested in getting the... Of course, it would be excellent if I could get the village, but I'm not that bothered. I'm more interested in killing as many units as possible. Remember, killing a unit basically immediately kills an amount of gold. You are taking resources from your opponent. Also, these Drake units are expensive and they cannot have high defense. Therefore, it is a medium risk, I would say, because they don't have high defense and high reward, right? So it's when you're playing against Drake, it's almost always better to go for the units, the expensive units, rather than go for the villages, simply because they can just attack you back and get the villages simply because they have a tremendous damage output. Anyway, I'm just exchanging blows here, and of course things are not going my way. I'm just going here for the auger simply because it's the most vulnerable from all these. In hindsight, perhaps I think I could 7 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, had I been able to reach this particular village, I should have probably gone here. However, I wasn't able to reach it, so my best chance was to keep staying on the village and exchanging blows with the auger. Now, I am attacking absolutely anything I can at this point. I want to whittle his units down, make sure they are not in best shape to deal with me. And you saw during dawn that I wasn't able to hit this skirmisher that efficiently. I wasn't able to trade blows with this skirmisher that efficiently. However, a 26 hit point skirmisher needs to be a bit more careful than a 32 hit point skirmisher, whereas I am willing to sacrifice a few spearmen to trade with Drake units, simply because, of course, I'm trading 14 gold with units which are more expensive than 14 gold. Definitely, even skirmishers are more expensive than 14 gold. And again, taking up advanced positions. I didn't even move my cav from here simply because I did not want him to get villages. Once he starts getting villages with the skirmisher, it's quite difficult to stop him. So I wanted to make sure, look, this cavalryman being quick can reach even this village. So it's again a passive aggressive position. Now, in terms of his choices at this point, so 1-1 in terms of units lost, units killed. His leader is low on HP, so he can't really full on engage these spearmen or fencers. So he has to be careful with his leader. He has to make sure he recruits, right? So obviously he starts with the easy choice, which is the fencer. But again, 3 units here. doing absolutely nothing than attacking the fencer. So this is, I would say, this fencer, even if it dies now, it has more than paid for itself. Will it die now? Will it die? Oh, it actually doesn't die. So it has already been ages since he has tried to get this fencer. So this is a dead unit, right? It's a risk of the unit getting killed. It's almost certain. It's only a matter of time, right? So I took this risk, and it really paid off. So 3 units, just trying to hit 70%, having a hard time, and there are not enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, 7 I would say, because it can reach the village. Well, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units, 9 because it's coming, 9 and recruiting. So he's overwhelmed at this point. Again, he has to prioritize recruiting. Does do quite a lot of damage to this spearman. So, okay, he is actually very efficient. He gets 3 out of 4, and my spearman doesn't actually deal a lot of damage back. So that is one thing going his way. And I don't understand this glider recruit. Sure, he had 16 gold. He needed a zone of control unit to move around. I can understand that. Or maybe he needed another unit to kill this particular fencer, or try to do a run by. However, I would have said a augur would have been a better choice, because the augur would have healed his warrior, and the augur would have been resilient to spearmen, and the augurs would have dealt, say, decent amount of damage, whereas the glider does take a lot of damage from spears. But, who am I to judge? This glider is actually having a great time versus the fencer. Now, another player would have taken the fencer back. However, I believe I did not. I believe I stayed here to put the pressure on. Again, I'm sacrificing units for strategic advantage. Okay, so, never mind. I actually went for the glider with my spearman. It could reach, and it's a great target. Sorry about that. So, okay, I got 3 out of 3 with the spearman, which was finally this actually swayed the stats in my favor. So I actually dealt quite a lot of damage this turn, and I needed it. So now it's 2-2. Again, keep putting pressure on the skirmisher. It can't really deal that much damage. It's on 60%, but I kept, because it was the only target the spearman could have reached. And it's very important when you're putting this kind of pressure that each unit either takes a village or attacks another unit. So here, again, I took a village, and I used the healthy spearman on the clasher. Again, remember, the clasher is on 30%. I am on 40%, to finally some good exchange with that clasher. I can't unfortunately reach it with the spearman, and I believe at this point I took a risk, or not. Did I take a risk? No, not yet. Okay, I'm going for that. Okay, this is the risk that I took again. So basically, this particular fencer did not have anything more interesting to do. He could have attacked this skirmisher. However, the skirmisher was not in any danger of dying. So I instead went for this clasher, simply because I needed 3 out of 4, and 3 out of 4 versus 30% is not that, it's not unheard of, right? So you see, I did get some damage in, 1 hit, but I was capable of killing the clasher. Why I went for that? Simply because without the clasher around, there is literally nothing, absolutely nothing, to deal damage to me during day. I mean, you could argue the leader deals a lot of damage, and it does. However, if you are not careful with the leader, especially since it is a 33 hit point leader, the leader might die quite easily. I could always risk and go for a leader kill, right? So, except the leader is 1, 2, 3, 4, Okay, these don't matter. They are too far away. Oh, of course, this one is apparently is not. They are too far away or otherwise occupied. Let's say that they don't matter that much. However, look at these units. None of them can. So this was a high risk, high reward target. Now he's basically sat around with his hands in his pocket, and there is not much that he can do. Okay, he's going for the fencer, and he's going to get it finally, get the village. However, these three units, again, cannot help, and these units, they really cannot deal that much damage. He's going to go for it. Okay, only one hit. Is he going to use leader? He's not doing too bad, to be honest. He's using all these chaotic units to deal a lot of damage to me. Oh god. Again, untouchable Drake warrior with magic attacks. That was a bit frustrated at this point. However, I had my share of luck, so it was a crazy game instead of luck swings, right? So again, he's looting his leader. There's nothing else. As I said before, it's the only unit that can deal real damage, and he used it really well from the village on the spearman. He could have gotten a bit of damage in, however, he didn't. Again, he took some risks and it paid off. He's trying here to cover this auger. However, I don't think that was the right idea, because this auger skirmisher is not exposed. Again, remember, this was all done in 3 minutes, so all of us were not reaching the optimum in terms of decisions and moves, but we were reaching something that was relatively close to optimum. So you see, I'm going with the cavalryman, which can deal blade damage, and that was quite right. So again, auger is a great target simply because it has literally no retaliation on melee, and suddenly he has more kills than I do. However, my units keep coming. My units also had, this fencer had the village for quite a while. This fencer is going to have another village, I feel. So again, look, on 40%, look how much damage I deal to the skirmisher. Again, spearmen. If you don't know what to do versus drakes, just recruit spearmen. And as you see, the glider is almost useless versus spearmen. And here, I could have probably attacked the skirmisher in the village. However, my spearman was already close to dying, so might as well heal and keep the flow of spearmen coming, keep fueling the flow of spearmen. So at this point, I would say I am at a decent advantage if you close your eyes, because it's really difficult to keep remembering that there is a flock of units here that has not done anything all game, then deal with an annoying fencer. So if these units come into play, who knows, maybe. So he is going to try to get this fencer because it's a high reward target. It does have a lot of experience, right? So he is going to transition into augers, and he's going to go for the fencer, and he gets it. I don't know why I'm even surprised. This leader is a magic, and it's 100%, I think, hit chance, or 90%. This leader has gotten all the kills it wanted. It has 25 experience already. So this leader is the one keeping him in the game. I haven't moved my leader at all, simply because I don't want to be tempted to just join the fight, miss, and then get my leader killed by these skirmishers, or even his leader. I said, I'm just going to stay here, make sure I recruit. Perhaps I could have been a bit more aggressive. However, with the timer being only 3 minutes, one more thing to think about, your leader is just going to make things difficult, right? So very nice flock here, 60%, healing, very nice, well organized Drake army. So at this point, it's not day anymore. So whatever I'm doing here, it's more or less all in. So I need 2 hits on the glider, and okay, I get my 2 hits. So that is all right, because I'm exchanging units. And why can I exchange units? Simply because I have the village advantage, and because his units are more expensive. So you see, I did lose 1 more unit than him, but I have basically 4 gold advantage. And at this point, I believe, yes, I basically wanted to, even if, this is a very poor exchange in my favor. I mean, it's not in my favor, definitely, but I wanted to kill the unit. If I kill the unit, it's fine. Even if look how much damage I'm getting. Even if my units are dying in return, versus Drake, it's almost always worth it to exchange blows. Now, I could have probably gone for the skirmisher as well with my merman fighter. I don't remember what I did. Did I go for the skirmisher? So spearman, of course, and offenser now because I have gold. Why not? Apparently, I didn't. I said I've already gotten my kills. Probably it will take me a long time to kill this Saurian, so I might as well get a village, get another village, and just, he has to do so many things. He has to kill my units and get the villages back, whereas I have reinforcements that keep coming. So, okay, and I was also probably hoping to kill this augur, which never happened. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4 villages. This is an insane amount of villages, and already my damage is starting to suffer, right? My damage is starting to be less and less because night is coming. So now is the time when you want to transition from killing units into camping into villages. I mean, you will need a lot of time to come all the way here and kill my spearmen. Probably I move my spearmen. Don't remember. Okay, I move my spearmen. Why? So it can be closer to the fight. So yeah, at this point, his army is, however, quite potent. So 2 augurs and the skirmisher in their prime during night, they actually deal quite a lot of damage. Oh, forgot about the glider. Glider is here to help. So, fencer. It's just all my fencers have died. And the leader, of course, always gets the objective, always gets the kill. So why am I even surprised? Okay, at least this cav can dodge a bit. Okay, kills 7, losses 6, so he's doing fine in the kill category. You see now the leader is exposed to 1, 2, 3 spearmen. So probably now would have been my time. Now would have been my time to go for the leader. However, I did not want to go for the leader. Probably I would have gotten the kill as well. So 3 should have been more than enough. I wanted to play it safe. I wanted to go for the augur. Look, because I have 2 hits on the augur, and this should have been more than enough. So you see, I went for the augur, unit by unit. No reason to risk on the Drake warrior. And you see, just units pouring in. It will be very difficult for him to recover from this. I don't think he has any gold left. And it might be tempting to recruit a horseman. However, horseman might come all the way here, charge a Drake fighter on 30%, miss twice, and then feed the Drake fighter. That's why I'm more keen on recruiting spearmen, simply because spearmen, they deal damage on both ranged and melee, and also it takes a while to kill them, and they are more stable. Okay, so at this point, I think it's already... Again, this leader got all the kills in the world. If he would, I mean, it's difficult to manage experience when your leader is hitting so much. But look, 41 experience. Imagine it being split around all his other units, right? That would have been an insane amount of experience, an insane amount of level 2s. And this would be probably a level 2 glider now. Oh, he missed. That would have been a level 2 glider. That might have turned the game around. However, it was not meant to be, and of course, I prioritized the glider simply because it has too much experience and he's about to level up. So again, exchanging while swarming and having these villages to back up. This is probably already dead. The game is probably already done, so I'm just going to play side turn and... Okay, so it's just some units exchange, but I'm sure he has already shut down at this point. I can't believe his leader missed. There must be something wrong. His leader never misses, so think I decided at this point to kill every single one of his units and let his leader get. Oh, that was a bit scary, to be honest. Um, his Saurian basically dodging so much. So at this point, there is nothing that can happen, I feel. So he has 36 gold, though. He has 36 gold and 10 gold coming. He has been actually fighting for a long time. He hasn't been recruiting. I feel that had he recruited one more ogre or two, he could have just crawled back into this game. Anyway, probably he never had the time. And look at the damage that this leader is doing. It's absolutely insane. He's basically single-handedly killing all my army. He can't reach the keep. If he could reach the keep now, he would definitely come back into this game. I am basically suiciding my whole army versus this leader. It's fun to watch, level 3 leader, but I mean I've rarely seen it in a game. It's okay. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Fencers actually winning the day, pushing Fencer forward, knowing that the Fencer will die, taking risks, betting on the fact that the Fencer will survive, and distract his attention for long enough that my main army finishes the job. Well, that is basically it. Another case of taking risks. It was not a case of me being ahead. It was a case of actually me struggling, but taking more risks to crawl back into the game. Anyways, I hoped you guys enjoyed it, and there was one more game that I wanted to show you regarding a situation where I was basically, so this was kind of, I want to say I was forced to take risks, but sometimes you are forced to take risks simply because your opponent plays better or because your opponent has a strategic faction advantage. So yeah, I was hoping to cast another game for you regarding taking risks, but it remains to be seen if I can get my hand on the replay or not. I will let you, ladies and gentlemen, know, and I'll see you later.